Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Emmanuel, and in this video we'll be covering CSS syntax. Before we actually go into the actual syntax, there is one thing that I forgot to mention in the introduction video where we were talking about the different types of CSS. So what was inline, internal, and external, is that you would always want to keep your CSS modular, meaning in an external CSS style sheet. But over the course of the video, especially in the beginning section, or the beginner section, we'll be writing everything internally, which means right here. And this is just so we can easily see any modifications and so we don't have to swap between the files. Just so you know that. Now, let's get into the actual CSS syntax. Before we start anything, let's quickly add a paragraph and add some lorem ipsum text. And let's see why does this not... Yeah, okay, now it works. And when you write something, like I just wrote the P, means, and by P I mean paragraph, not something else. When you write a P, you say all the paragraphs will be styled like this. And then, as you noticed, we add the curly brackets, and all of your CSS styling will go in between these curly brackets. Now, all of this piece is also called a declaration block. So, when you declare something for a selector, which we'll be going into more detail in the next lesson, that means that this is a whole block. So let's just make it a little bit better to see. So everything that goes inside here is a declaration block, and if you say something like background color is red, this will be a CSS declaration. So this whole line where we define the background color to be red will be a declaration. And the first part is the property, and the value is, of course, the value. And you will always have to put a colon to separate the two entities, to separate the property from the value. So we're saying I want to put in a custom background color, and I know which one it is. Stop, red, and then stop. So the semicolon at the end just means we're done with this declaration, and enter or return, we want to add a new one. So these are the kind of things. I don't know what's happening with my indenting right now, but it doesn't matter. Then you can add something else like color to be white, and that's going to be another declaration. So every line is a declaration. The first part is property. You always have to put a colon, and at the end a semicolon. And this is a declaration block. And that's basically it. The CSS syntax, or the basic syntax, is well, basic, and it's really easy to learn. But there are a few quirks here and there. For example, let's just say that we have more stuff here. You don't need to remember them, you don't need to write them. I'm just adding them so I can show you some stuff. Font size will be, let's say, 30 pixels. Let's align these so they look nice. Now, one thing that you can do is the last declaration property can be, the last declaration can be without a semicolon, because you're just saying, okay, this is really the end of this declaration block, so we don't necessarily need it. I just wanted you to know that you can have it without the semicolon at the last property, but I always recommend you putting one there. You never know when something might get busted, and you never know when you want to add something, because maybe you come back after a few hours and then you realize that, oh yeah, I need to add some padding in here, and then maybe you forget to add the colon, the semicolon here, and then everything else just busts. So always add your semicolons at the end of each declaration. And yeah, keep your code nice and tidy. That was about it for CSS syntax. It's not that difficult. In the next lesson, we'll be focusing on CSS selectors. Next lesson is going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to be really fun. So I really hope to see you there, and have a great day.